once
Ojo guata. Kika guagu. Amiku jojala mejerumu kuna kalama. Oh, na chana makejide bodo yodo boga woyo pana dumako. Ojo chemebi kichemere ko bora kwoko. Henagi aka echabe yomo ogbaje echomeja eja chomene marakechi medo imaru eburu ara eja ne marakechi medo choma akunwadike choma kwadi yawo obuko le kwa pakiri mada ngbo mapawute omo mapawu mare danga kun ega mi chotoko mojo adeyi boko awaite won majodeje o majoda ne de choboko de chodu ga pato yakuge akono bura bonira tẹ àwọn àmàdàpà tó jákùrẹ́ ìnojúre bí ọmọ rẹ̀ yìí jẹ́ ẹmúdẹ̀nàrádì ẹbí ẹ̀jẹ̀gẹ̀ náà àdé àkàyàn ọmọ náà gbà ànájọ́ náà màkè ìbọ̀dọ́ yóò dò bọ̀gàwù ọba òkà bí ọdẹ mi ooo ohun ẹ̀ràn bí ọdẹ mà tọba wèrè dákọ̀ bàgò àgbúrẹ́ oko àpànà bí ayé oko àjà dẹ̀dẹ̀dẹ̀dẹ̀ ẹ̀gbàrá bí ẹ̀jẹ̀ wèrè wà bá pànà bí àpamúdẹ̀ wèrè wà bá pa ẹ̀gbọ́ àbà. Àmì kọ́rọ̀ jọjọ mẹ́wọ́ ìrẹ̀ méje mọ́ kọ́rùn rẹ̀ ọjọ́ ọdún òkóríkó wáyé.
All right, it's another bright day and a very good morning to everyone watching us out there, wherever you are watching us from. If you are watching us out of the shore of Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, United States of America, or whichever part of the world that you are watching us from, it could be good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and whatever it is, but we greet you with the greeting of your region. My name is Onet Chojon. This is African Spirituality, a weekly magazine program on USTV Africa. And today we are going to take a look at the spiritual belief system of the Igala people in Kogi State, West Africa, Nigeria. And the person that is going to be my guest, with the guest speaker on the program today, my guest on the program, and a special guest indeed, is, I love to call him Ila. That is the name I love. Out of your names, Abel and all of them, I pick only Ila. Okay. But for the purpose of introduction, can you tell our viewers your name?
Yeah, good morning, my people. Good morning, Africa. Good morning, the world. I normally call myself Comrade Enemona Abel Ela. Today I'm here to talk about Africa spirituality. The concept of Africa spirituality.
Quickly help me introduce yourself. Yeah. You know, I will want us to talk to the viewer first before we go into discussing the African spirituality. First of all, you know, people do confuse those terms together. Belief, religion, and spirituality. Those are three independent words that are interwoven together. Yeah. You can be a Muslim, you can be a Christian, or a believer of any faith. That is one thing, one different thing. But spirituality is another different thing altogether that you need to separate them so that you can get the true meaning of what we are talking about. For instance, that you like it or you don't like it, there are people that have, every human being is born with a certain type of spirit. But how you believe in the spirit that you are born with is the difference here. Two children that are born from the same womb at the same time are twins. And of course, as a matter of fact, you agree with me that those twins are born without a Jima or Ogu spirit. So you like it, you are a Muslim or you are not, you are a Christian or you are not, you cannot separate them from the spirit that they are born with. So today we are not going to talk about Christianity or Islam. We are going to talk about African spirituality. And I will want you to begin from the point where you started, the concept of Africa spirituality.
Yeah, the concept of African spirituality. But before I go into it, when we talk about religion is just a platform in which individuals establish a pattern of worship relating with spirit that he get more information from. But when you talk about African spirituality, from Igala perspective, we are now looking at a home of knowledge. A home of knowledge. A home of knowledge which we seek for interpretations, informations, for information that will lead us in the physical realm. Because this home of knowledge is a body of all kinds of knowledge that you are looking for. And this knowledge, you either seek knowledge for medicine, knowledge for scientific discovery, knowledge for healing, and knowledge for understanding. These are the kind of hope that this knowledge is. Because this African spiritual realm, the Igala spiritual realm, let me just focus more on the Igala angle now, is full of knowledge. And this knowledge, we pick it one by one. It depends on the kind of energy that you put in place before going into the spiritual realm. Are you positive enough before visiting the spiritual realm, or you have a negative energy into the spiritual realm? Most of the time, when we are having this problem of mixing up, is that some people go into the spiritual realm with a negative intention. This negative intention, you are getting information based on the negative intention, because we all have a spirit that we relate to. We have familiar spirits, we have ancestral spirits, we have the goddess, and we have other demonic spirits. They are in the spiritual realm. But each of these does not have any dealing with human being or controlling human being, except one person have to go and seek their own assistance to help them attack the physical world.
Okay, from what you are saying, the spirit exists on their own,
without
any relationship with the human being until you go to seek their assistance, either for help or for harm.
Yes.
Okay.
So, what happens in Africa from Igala perspective, we have several ways in which we relate with the spiritual realm. Some people relate with spiritual realm through dream, because they are more related with their beloved person who died. The person can appear to them in form of dream, and it brings them back to their consciousness for them to regain some part of memory. Some information will be what? Uploaded in the memory, that you need to go to some place, perform social sacrifice to solve the particular problems. That is a kind of spiritual realms that relate with the loved ones. Like when you are close to your dad, mostly, and your dad is late, but because there are particular problems you want to deal with, and you keep on calling his name, I wish my dad is still alive, I wish he's still alive, suddenly you may decide, he may appear in your dream. My son, what did you want? What is your problem? Okay, go so place and solve that problem. He has given you a clue. You upload that particular information into your memory, and the moment you carry that particular activities up, it goes on. In the area of medicine, the African medicine, people seek the informations for interpretation, and that is when Ifa come in. In Igala word is Abo. Abo is the meaning, go and find out. That is the meaning of go and find out. That is mean, go and research what is happening. Then the moment they go into the spiritual realm, the interpretation will now come in, that you need social material, put them together to form a solution to your problem. And that solution is when the science come in. That yes, you get social root, social leaf, animal skin, and this. it became a chemistry of what you are looking for. If that particular information is documented, another person use it, it can also work for that person without even visiting a spiritual realm. But in Africa, why we are suffering in our own religion as
in our own belief system,
yes,
in Africa, an African belief system,
is because we never document what we have. This information was not documented. If not, before the colonial masters and the religions, the two Abrahamic religion that was adopted as the mother of all religion, there was a system every African is operating. And that system, they have their belief and they have their faith. It works for them.
Sorry, if I may ask, like you said, the problem is that the African belief system is not documented anywhere. Yes. But again, unlike the Abrahamic religion, the Christianity and Islam, the Muslims go to the mosque to pray, the Christians go to the church to pray. Before the coming of the two Abrahamic religion of Christianity and Islam, how did Africans communicate with their gods?
Yes. Africans communicate with their gods, especially the Igala perspective. There are type of festivals that Africa use mostly. We have what we call the Otegu festival, that is the Earth festivals, that African offer sacrifice and thanksgiving to the Mother Earth. And these Earth festivals is for purposely for cleansing of the land, forgiveness of sins, of which all the atrocity that has been committed against the land, because the Mother Earth is just the keeper of all the activities that is done within the earth. And because of that one, they relate more with the Mother Earth, because they are born of African ancestors with the Mother Earth. Because when a person died, he returned back to the Mother Earth. From dust, the person is made, unto the dust is a return. So because of that one, the Mother Earth keep those spirits around. We call them earthborn spirits. That the earthborn spirits are people now communicate with those things.
I mean, in Igala language, is the earthborn spirit the same thing with the Ibegu?
Yes, earthborn spirits are the ancestral spirit.
Ancestral spirit, that is yes. The spirit of our ancestors that have gone beyond.
So they are in this earth, they know better than us, because they have been here before, they know more about before. So if any information is coming, because Igala believe in the Almighty God, the supremacy God, but the intention of God is being known to the ancestors, is being known to the elements in the land. That is the water element, the Mother Earth, the ancestors. So intention of God is being known. So what Igala faith or belief is that they seek the intention of God through the ancestors, through the Mother Earth, or other familiar spirits.
And sorry if I may add to this, in addition to the belief of the Igala people, even if you go into astronomy, the study of the spirit, metaphysical study, you discover that the earth, when you are talking about the spirit of the ancestors who are already in the earth, you see that the earth has that spiritual magnetism, because you walk on it, your foods are from it, the earth is your host, and of course everything that have to do about you is on the earth. So the communication, you are just an object between the earth and the spirit, and the whole earth is the host of all the spirit. And that is why if you need to hear accurately from the spirit, you consult them through the divinity of the earth. That is otherwise known as Ifa. Among the categories of Ifa, which is a different topic that we are going to discuss at another time, we have the categories of them. Yes. But the earth's divinity is the best and most accurate of it. It never lies, and it gives you the precise answer because you are on it, you are eating from it. If you die, you return to it.
Yeah.
So I agree with you on the spirit of the earth. And even science too, talk about the earth and the magnetism of the earth. In fact, somebody proved to me that the earth radiates energy and equally transmits electricity. He showed me sometimes that once your body contains certain set of energy, if you stamp your feet on the ground, you receive shock, electric shock from the earth and all of that. So I agree with the spirit of the earth.
Because when you look about the two, the Abrahamic religion also recognize the Mother Earth. Because when you talk about the mortal, you talk about the immortal. The mortal is the earth. The immortal is the spirit. So there is no way the spirit will exist without the mortal. So the two have to come together to become one. And the Mother Earth will be the one that will keep the mortal existing for a very long period of time, so that the spirit living in that mortal can also operate within the Africa, the perspective and the structures of God's existence. The spiritual, the earth itself, the Igala perspective normally visit the earth, seeking their interpretations over the intention of God for them. Because every individual have a familiar spirit, either his own guardian angel or another particular spirit in which he believes he have a connection with them. That is why those people who normally have connection with water, easily they return back to water in different ways when it's their time to go. And most of them are buried along the riverside. But it's another topic for another day. This particular perspective of the Igala spiritual realm was that during the interpretation of the intention of God on the earth, Igala now seek the Mother Earth through their ancestors by creating a festivity activities that lead to, before they can be able to know and relate with the Mother Earth, they have to pay some sacrifice, giving sacrifice, appease the God, appease the most of the Holy Spirit. Before they come out and review things, they need to be appeased.
Even in the Abrahamic religion is like that.
Yes.
For the Christians to access God, they say some prayer. Even the Catholic, Hail Mary, Mother of God, like that, pray for us, like that.
Yes.
That is it. Then even apart from the Hail Mary of the Christian, pray for us, blah, blah, they are seeking intercession between God and themselves. I mean, the intercession between them and God through Mary and through Christ, because Jesus, according to the Bible, said, I am the truth, the light, and the way. No one cometh to the Father except through me. It means he is the mediator between God and man.
Yes.
Just like you need the Spirit too to mediate between you and the God of the ancestors.
Yes.
Even among the Muslims, before they go into any of the prayer, they begin by salutation to the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, and like that to the end. Meaning that they are seeking intercession through God, to go through Muhammad to reach God. So every of the religion have a mediator that mediates between them and God. Because there's no Islam without Muhammad.
Yes.
You cannot, if at any prayer that you do in Islam without bringing in the name of Muhammad, it's not going anywhere. Anyone that you do in Christianity without bringing in the name of Jesus is not going anywhere. So to the ancestor, you can't access them directly unless you go through, incantation and the procedures to get into them. And the sacrifices you offer in Islam and the one you offer in Christianity differs from the one we offer here. Because I am looking at it this way, that some people look at everything that have to do with our spirit as negative. And that is the impression given to us by those that invaded us and devalue our belief system, destroy our entire belief system. We will get to, the concept of godliness and Almighty God in the African belief system. But again, our spirit is not negative. Our spirit is not evil.
It's not.
You see somebody, I was talking with somebody one time. If you ask him, he know all the people that existed with Muhammad in the time of Muhammad. Abu Bakr, Umar, Usman, Aliyu. He names all of them, Hamza and all of them. If you come to the Christian, you know Peter, Paul, James, and all the apostles that existed with Jesus. But he doesn't know the name of his grandparents.
Yeah.
You know the name of the ancestors of the Arab and the ancestors of the white people. But you cannot name your four grandfathers. That my father is Yahaya, the father of my father is Atabo, the father of Atabo is Obetule, like that to the ninth. He doesn't know. So we have been disconnected with the spirit of our ancestors. For instance, if I meet you and I say, Mr. Man, please help me. You know, it's a neutral ground, it will not move you. But if I meet you and I say, Abel, please assist me, you know that I know you and have called you by your name. Those spirits who are calling Peter, Paul, James, Ali, Muhammad, Usman are foreign spirit and strange spirit to us. They don't know us, we don't know them. But your father know you. The father of your father know you. If I am coming, as okay, for instance, my grandfather, the father of my father is Atabo. If I am going out in the morning and I say that Atabo, you are the father of my father, I've already addressed him by his name. I am going out. In my going out today, I pray to God that my going out should be safe, my coming back should be safe. Your spirit should stand with me as I go. Either you like it or you don't like it, the dead become angelized, they become spiritualized, they become immortalized, they become invisible. They are spirit and they live with us. Even Christianity admits that the spirit of the dead lives.
Yes.
Even Islam too admit that the spirit of the dead lives. But we Africans dissociate ourselves from the spirit of our ancestors and embrace the spirit of the foreigners. And that is why we seem to be where we are. And I think it is deliberate by the invaders. Those that brought in their religion, they know that if they leave us with the spirit of our ancestors, we will know our roots. Because as soon as, no matter how tall a tree is, if you disconnect it from the root, the tree is dead.
It's dead.
So the moment Africans are disconnected from the root, from our spirit, from our ancestors, we are dead on arrival. And that's why we are where we are today.
The reason why Africa is not moving forward, the genealogy of Africa is gone. I can challenge many professors today to give me about 10 of their grandparents. No, many of them can't. Many. Because a disconnection was deliberately by our colonial masters who brought this Abrahamic religion. Because Abrahamic religion is not bad, but the activities at which many of our scholars, the way they presented those religions to us is a way that destroys our own genealogies. Because when we talk about genealogy, we are talking about the trace of our ancestors. How you are connected. Because even the Israelites have to pray for God to forgive their own ancestors.
You understand?
They have to
it
pray
means
for God.
they are still,
yes.
Even with the Christianity and all of that,
yes.
they are still connected with their ancestors.
Yes, they have to pray. Because even when the Israelites are leaving Egypt, they have to go with Joseph.
They remain.
Yes.
What the Ghana people call Ajibo.
Yes, Ajibo.
You understand? It means they remain. So that if where they are taking him to now, where they are migrating to, they are going with his remain and his spirit.
Yes.
That is it.
So they don't want to leave the spirit behind. So these are the issues we are having that is disconnecting us and is not giving us focus. Because these are people who are ready to review information, intention of God to us, but we are disconnected from them.
Sorry, I'm talking from experience,
Yeah.
and I have been privileged to mix with the two religions, Islam and Christianity. I'm a Muslim, but 90% of my friends are Christians, and I have been involved myself in a lot of activities of the Christianity. Somebody at a time told my friend that I went with to the church that you are possessed with a spirit that you need to be dissociated with. And I asked him, sir, that is great. Is that what's going to be the solution to his problem? He said, yes. I said, sir, is it marine spirit? He said, no, spirit of your ancestor. That you have a spirit that is with you from your ancestor. And I told him I wouldn't call it. So I spoke in Igala language to him because the man of God didn't understand Igala. And I told him, Atai, don't allow this man to disconnect you with the spirit of your ancestor. How can you disconnect me from my root? If he cannot pray for you and until if the only condition for his prayer for you is to disconnect you from your ancestor, I am not party to it, because I will not be disconnected from my ancestors. How can you disconnect me from my father, from the father of my father, and the father of my father and my great grandfather? You are cutting my roots. You cannot disconnect me from my ancestor. I mean, it doesn't sound normal that you are disconnecting me from the spirit of my ancestor to connect me to a spirit I don't know, a spirit that don't know me, a spirit that doesn't have any bloodline or connection with me. I don't understand how it is done, and I agree with you proportionally to a point that all of this is because those things are not documented. If you are going to talk, somebody will tell you Quran chapter this, verse this. Somebody will tell you the book of this, verse that in the Bible. We don't have reference point that have been from our own ancestral background where we can reference to. But I can confidently tell you that no, Ojalube once told me this, because Ojalube is my grandmother and a great spiritualist. I had and learned a lot of spirituality from her, and up to tomorrow I stand to believe those things she told me, because it's been years behind, and I'm still seeing them manifesting, and I'm seeing them working. I'm seeing results from them. You understand? So if there have been books where you argue with me, I can also open the African scriptural book, this verse this, and check the book of Ojalube chapter this, verse this, and you see it. You know it. But we don't keep documentation, and we keep the gap between us and our origin and our root keep widening on a daily basis. My son was telling me one time, when we were talking about the origin and all of that, he said all of those things are barbaric, and that his culture is Islam. I said, God forbid. Your culture is Igala culture. You are an Igala first before you are a Muslim. The Muslim belief and religion is on one side, but your culture and your root is Igala. My grandmother is Ojalube, and my grandfather is Akabo. I met those people, and their way of life is the purest that I have ever seen. They live a very godly life. When I say godly, I'm not talking about religious life. They live godly life. They live godly life. Akabo didn't go to mosque, Alube didn't go to mosque or church. But if you come to them, you see representation and symbol of humanity. Alube was so kind that she trained over 50 orphans. She doesn't know their parents from anywhere. Over 50 orphans. That's not, biblical or Quranic, but her own humanity. If you come to Ojalube, she has a quarter that she built where she houses people that she doesn't know at all, the less privileged, and she takes care of. That is humanity. So what our ancestors, the life they live is pure and holy life. Yeah. In the belief of Ojo Chamachala. Or Chamachala means pure, clean, without impurity, holy, unpolluted God Almighty.
When you look at the Igala system of belief,
yes,
Igala believe in the supremacy of God. That is why they name God after morning and night. Ojo Anwa, Ojo Adu. God break the day and God close the day. Which the day, when there is morning, that is Ojo Muwame. When there is night, Ojo Mudume. God close the day. That alone, nobody can change it. It has been there right from the Genesis. So now, the problem we are having is that we didn't separate the good and the bad. The good and the bad are two different things. All of them have access to spiritual realm. But what energy the bad guys are using that matters. And what energy the good guys should use. And that is when issue come in. There are negative energy and there are positive energy. You go into the spiritual realm to seek for information and interpretation of a particular information you are looking for. And that is where you're supposed to focus your mind. You don't need to say, because you are going to the spiritual realm, when you look at the spirit, they are not there to harm us. If you associate yourself with a particular spirit that come around all the time, give that spirit attention. Is there to give you an important information that you need, that will help you, or he wants you to solve a problem in one particular place. But the religion, the Abrahamic religion, the way it was presented to us, we now look at every spirit that appeared to us as a very negative spirit. There are several ways that we go into the spiritual realm. Some people use witchcraft. Witchcraft is within West Africa and in North America. The tree and the bird are found within these places. In other places, they are not there. So, people go into the witchcraft. What are you going to do when you want to visit the witchcraft kingdom? What particular things are you looking for? You need to prepare your mind. Get adequate knowledge before you now think of saying, I want to go and get this power. Today, there are so many people who even get this particular Abrahamic religion using the same getting power, but they don't know how to operate it. They also use it to destroy people.
That is the point I was going to talk about. You see, at the stage of our development in Africa, before the coming of the colonialists, we were at the embryonic stage of development. That is the stage of human civilization. Yes. We were transcending from the Stone Age into the modern age when they obstructed and distorted our belief system in Africa. Even with the Christianity, it was like that. Yeah. If you go to the story of Abraham, there was a time he never knew God.
Yes.
If he sees the star, he says, this is God. When the star would go down, he said, no, this is not God. If he sees the moon, he called it God. If he sees the sun, he was mistaking everything for God until he discovered the real God at the right time. Even Africans, we were going through the same developmental stage before we were obstructed. If we were allowed to go the way we were going from the onset, without the intervention of Islam and Christianity, we would have got to a stage. And when you talk about Africa not being able to separate the positive and the negative spirit, it is like that too with every religion. Go to the Christianity, for instance. There is a portion of the Bible that people use against human being and you go mad.
Yeah.
There are books in the Bible, I don't want to mention them because of this is a public place and it can be misused. But there are certain books in the Bible, if they recite them at certain hour with your name and certain arrangement with number of candle, certain colors of candle, number of time in the certain attire at one particular hour of the night for number of days, you will go mad.
There are so many.
That is in the Bible.
There are so many.
If you come into the Quran, there are verses of the Quran that by the time you recite them, do certain sacrifice and all of that, within certain number of days, somebody will go mad. So if the African belief, African spirituality can be manipulated for evil use, same thing it is with Christianity, so also it is with Islam. That does not make us evil. The impression given to us by our invaders, I don't call them colonial masters, they invaded us.
Yes.
They invaded and distorted everything about us in Africa. The impression given to us that everything that is Africa, everything that is black is evil. The devil is black. They told us that the angels are white. That is racial discrimination, and this is implanted into our head. In fact, I was talking with somebody, and after a while, I purposely provoked him. I told him the race where you come from are bad people, they are witches and all of that. I said, yes, I know my people are witches. And I quickly tipped something about Christianity. He said, no, don't talk about my faith. He accepted that his people are witches and wizards. But you shouldn't talk about his Christian faith. Why? Because his race, his origin, his identity. In fact, you are your identity. Your culture is you. means nothing to him. But what is given to him by the foreigner means everything to him. Somebody would rather die because of Islam or die because of Christianity than die because of his culture, his root, and his origin. Why? Because we have been colonized mentally. We have been enslaved mentally. So that even after the political independence, where we are gambling between old national anthem and new national anthem, we are still in chain mentally. You understand? So the African spirit you use negatively doesn't change anything. So you were talking about means through which people go into the spiritual realm. One of them is through witchcraft. And the witchcraft too, I put it to you, that the witchcraft have positive use.
Witchcraft, they are positive.
I've seen somebody, I know a woman that have 5 children and all of them are millionaires. And then she told me in confidence that it is in the witchcraft that she went to collect this wealth and give to her children at a price. So it means if you can use witchcraft to attract wealth for your children, it is a positive use.
The problem we are having is the person, that person in particular. Which information you are looking for. Now, they say this house is full of information.
The internet, for example.
The internet.
People go to the internet to get educated, to make money.
What are you
but
looking
people go there to get corrupt and evil.
People go there to get corrupt. Because there are so many things in the spiritual realm, both negative and positive.
Yes.
But the information you are looking for as a person, because the God himself said he lives in us. Indirectly, the devil lives in us. When you are looking for a power to go and destroy a person who is using you already, you are within the devil zone in your mind. Because that power you are seeking for is in your mind, your intention. That is what you are focusing on. But the several ways we get into the spiritual realm. Number one is witchcraft. Second one is fasting and abstinence. When you fast, you get connected because your mortal body now will now get a direct connection into the spiritual realm, because there are foods and things we eat that disconnect us from the spiritual realm. So, but during fasting, you discover that you are more light, you are more connected to the spiritual realm than when you eat a lot of things that kill your memory. Because fasting opens our memory. And when this memory is open, other informations will be downloaded. They now say this person is gifted, is gifted upon this and that. That is another way. Through consultations, pay sacrifice to the Mother Earth, we get the information we need. There are so many ways other people are gifted. There are those who use sand. Some people use cola. Some people use coins and anwa to get informations they want. And our memory is where we need to always expose it for more information. When your memory is dull, there's no way information will stay. And another problem we're having in Africa is that when you want to be, or you want to seek for more knowledge, people feel you are sick. They don't want to be. But if it is a white man, they say, whatever a white man says is the right thing. But a situation when an African person just wants to be, and from his own perspective, he just wants to tell us the particular information and what he has studied so far and his own belief and information that has been downloaded from the spiritual realm, people feel that person is sick. And many people, because they don't go into history, they don't seek more knowledge, they are being bondaged by some group of peoples in the name of religion. Because when you look at this Abrahamic religion, to be realistic now, the bad guys have hide under the religion, using the good guy to speak for them. when you touch any of those bad guys, the good guy will not stand up, you are touching my Muslim brother or Christian brother.
Sorry, briefly before because we are approaching the end of the program. Viewers at home, the line that you can call is there. You can call into this program to ask questions or make contribution to this discussion, and we shall be bringing the program to an end in a short while. But before then, the line are open. You can call 091 31 57 5573. I take it again, 091 31 57 5573. That is the number that you can call in to ask questions or make contribution to the discussion we are having at hand here. Like you rightly say, it's a general thing. Like I told you, I'm not a scholar, but I'm not an ignorant Muslim. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
I'm not an ignorant. Apart from the fact that I studied Islamic studies at my NCE level, I have spent time sat down in front of Muslim scholars, organic scholars, those we call malams, to acquire knowledge about Islam. And again, to a very large extent, I attended Jehovah's Witness evening school. I learned a lot about the Bible. You know, you don't read the Bible, you study the Bible. I didn't go there as a theologian, but I went there for knowledge acquisition, and I can say to a large extent that I am not ignorant of Christianity. I have a good understanding of both Islam and Christianity, not a hearsay understanding, but a scriptural study and understanding of the religion. The problem you complain about is not peculiar to, African belief system alone. At the time they look at Jesus and they told him, is it not this the son of Mary, the brother of this that was with us? When has this one started? They see him as being abnormal. You understand? When Muhammad returned from the cave of Hira, where he went to receive the Quran, he came. They said he's a madman. And the Quran said, no, Sahibukum bi majnun. Your prophet is not a madman. So they called Jesus a madman. They called Muhammad a madman. But it's because our own mind have already been polluted towards our belief system. That is why we reject with totality anything that have to do with our belief system. The first thing you talk about, we have our own pattern of fasting in Africa before the Christian and because in Africa we don't have a unified spirit. No, what we have in Africa is territorial spirit. The spirit that operates within a kingdom differs from the one that operates. People that live around the riverine area have a certain type of spirit and how they assess it.
Yes.
And the people that live on the mountainous area and like so because of the very spirit that we have in Africa, then every belief system have their own pattern of fasting according to their belief system. Yes. That is why if you go to some places among the Igala people, because we are using Igala land as a case study here, they will say within this kingdom, we don't eat this and that food.
Yes.
Why? Because it distorts their spiritual concentration. It breaks their spiritual concentration. It lowers their spiritual connectivity.
Yes.
So because of that, they forbid the eating. They are fasting on that food.
Yes.
Because fasting is abstinence from food and water. So so that it will connect you with the spirit. Yes. Then in Africa, like the clan where I come from, right? We don't eat squirrel. Why? Because it's not in agreement with our spiritual environment.
Yes.
If we are cooking, you don't put knife under the fire that we are using to cook. If you put knife under that fire, we don't eat it. Because it doesn't tally with our spirituality.
Yes, connectivity with the spirit.
It breaks our spiritual connectivity. Yes. The essence of fasting is to connect you with the spirit. Yes. So you hear that we forbid eating this. It means they are on fasting against that particular food. That's our own pattern of fasting in Africa before the Christianity and the Islam pattern of fasting. And you remember that even in the Arab, it was like that. Yeah. They have varieties and different belief systems until Muhammad come finally and you bring a unified belief system, which is Islam. So also it was in the Christendom. But Africa, nobody really stand up to fight war and say, okay, Ahmadiyya should be stepped down, Ogun should be stepped down, Unyejima should be stepped down, all the gods should be stepped down so that we have a unified God in Africa. We never did that in Africa because it was every man to himself. And maybe at a point, we'll have gotten to that point if the white men have not distorted our belief system. Because up to today, slavery and colonialism is what led Africa to where we are.
Yes.
And today, at the end of the day, Africa has become more religious in Islam, more religious in Christianity than even the Arabs and the Europeans themselves.
Yes.
So that this Islamization and Christianization of Africa have taken our belief, our thinking system from productivity to religion and spirituality. We are more concerned with the spirit of the European and Arab than what happened to us here. China is talking about development. America and other parts of the world are talking about development, but we are talking about prayer and fasting. What we can do, somebody was going to look for a job somewhere. I said, my friend, I know somebody that you can pay to develop a good CV for you and a final resume for you to go and seek the job. And if you are going, you need money to buy good clothes and look presentable for the interview. The physical things that he ought to have done. But what did he do? He went and gave money to one man of God to pray for him, and he was on fasting. I said, you are going to interview with fasting and prayer. You have not done the right thing. Nobody will employ you. Nobody. You understand? Even this fasting that you are going, the face as with this fasting is going to make you look haggard. You are going to look rintigard before the people that are going to interview you. So we have given up productivity for spirituality of the whites.
What many of us doesn't understand is that when you look at the religion, Abrahamic religion, we still refer to their ancestors. God of Abraham, Moses, Jacob, Isaac. Are there no ancestors?
There are.
Even the Abraham that is even confused about the God himself before Jesus Christ came. We still refer to him.
Somebody would prefer to say God of Elijah. What happened to the God of Atlugu?
And the funniest thing now, we have stepped it down to our own
contemporary Nigerian pastors.
Yes, now somebody.
No, I don't want to call any of the pastors.
No, not
God of pastor this, God of pastor that.
God of pastor that. But they will tell you that your your ancestor is a wicked ancestor.
One funny guy was with me at Maraba here. I had something strange and I said, Amoche Joma to that guy. He said, no, why are you calling Amoche Joma? What you need to do is Inna Lillahi wa Inna Ilaihi Raji'un. I said, no. What have I done wrong in saying Amoche Joma to that guy? To express shock. You know, that is the far we have come.
That is why when you see the only people that are helping us keeping most of our informations are the oral traditionalists.
And we are losing them very fast.
And we are losing many of them because we are not even close to them.
They are fetish. So we shouldn't go near them.
Say they are fetish. If you look at, I will still come up with one of my book very soon. It's under proofreading for now. He talks more about the structures of Igala Kingdom before the arrival of
the whites.
And what they passed through. They will now see how they develop themselves to some certain levels before the whites came. So many problems we are having today is that we don't want to talk about ourselves. If you look at it now, an average young man now can mention the name of all the players in the world.
Yes, and how much they are paid. Their club side, how much they are paid, and their name. Even their life background history.
But he will lose interest in his own family background. When you ask him, how many of your uncle did you know? I will forget about those people. And you think you are building a society. Because whether we like it or not, we return back.
Definitely.
We are returning back.
But definitely.
And many people return back. If your memory is intact, you meet it. Because it's another chapter anyway.
We'll go there.
But if you look at it, Africa generally, the ancestors now, they are even returning back. They are returning back because most the information that you have now, you seek now, the information that will help you in your next life. And you need to develop your memory to know more about your background. If not, if you come back again, you become a slave, another second slave in your generation again. But what we are trying to say is that as average African man, we need to go back to our roots, understand the system. If it is bad, let's correct it. Let's advocate for it. Because there was a certain time I advocate for a particular Ibegu culture that was no longer in, it's not supposed to be in this modern world. That particular law needs to be prohibited or discarded. Because one, my Ibegu from Olama Boroda is a gas side. He said, thou shalt not kill the son of the soil. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not do abortion. Those two particular beliefs was that now we have occupations which people are judged and they are medical doctors. So we need to also break it down that there are what we call ectopic pregnancy. A child that grows outside the womb that need to be removed, aborted. So that particular law, now we need to readjust it and commit it to the Mother Earth. Another one was that if your daughter commit adultery, you are not supposed to even take her to the hospital unless you have done, she have to do cleansing before you attend. I say now if you do it, the father may have problem. And I say now, how can the sin of this daughter or the son come upon the father? These are issues that we need to also be revisited. That people should be thinking on how to revisit some issues that you know is affecting. It's not for you to condemn it. Those things are being laid down to guide them. But it works for them. Why are we condemning it? Let's readjust what we have. There's no need to discard it. Let's readjust what we have. And today, if you look at the whole system that they brought to us, it's not even working. Ordinarily, according to our culture, then you don't lie anyhow.
Yes.
But lie now is an occupation as far as
sorry, sir. I stand to be corrected. You cannot be punished by a principal of a school if you are not a student of that school.
Yes.
I don't know if the law that operates in Ghana is not binding on you because you are not in Ghana.
Yes.
Ibegu have lost contact and control over us because we are disconnected from them.
Yes.
I don't know if you are a Christian, I am a Muslim. We are disconnected from Ibegu, and the law of Ibegu stands more firm and result-oriented than this Christian and Muslim law. If it were in the past, when we were still operating our own belief system, my brother, if you do any evil thing, instantly Ababana will strike you. Amadio will strike you. Ogun will strike you instantly. But today they have told us that the hellfire is there and the heaven is there until we die to go there. And that is why people do everything and go free. If you are not disconnected and you know that you are going to get summary and instant judgment, nobody commit crime. The crime in the society was minimal because you get the result instantly. But now we are waiting for heaven and hell. And that is why, in fact, you don't even know. Somebody will steal this money, go to build mosque, go to build church, and at the end of the day, you'll be given a front row in the church and be given a title in the mosque. And we don't even know until that day that the heaven and hell will come. We don't know what's going to be their fate. But in Africa, before now, you cannot try that nonsense. You know?
Like in the Igala religion, like the festivity we normally do, the Otebu festivity.
Yes.
It's almost within the February and March. That was when the old moon would disappear, waiting for the new moon to come. Generally, we're during the orbit rotation. Now, this festival is when the deity masquerade normally come out.
Yes.
And this deity masquerade that is coming out, before then, every household will be clean. You perform the necessary rituals that you need to perform. Everybody will
to cleanse the land, to make the land fertile, and preparation for the farming season, so that you produce more.
That is the occupation we have that time. So when the deity masquerade is coming, it's coming to address the issue of any sickness that is beyond human control. Because it's going to carry it. That thing is being invoked by evil spirit. It's going with that evil spirit.
It's separating the person from that spirit of sickness.
Yeah, that spirit of sickness that this one is being invoked into. You are coming with me because the deity will take that spirit along. Because all the sacrifice needed has been given. You are not supposed to be here. And that was the time. After the whole thing, you discover that when the traditional medicine start giving their medicine, it will work. All sickness will be addressed.
Because the metaphysical has been taken care of to enable the physical.
To enable the physical. And that is where we are losing control.
I think my brother here will draw the curtain on the program today, because time have gone beyond the scheduled time for the program, and I hope you enjoy listening to this program, and I hope you learned from this. And my brother, this is going to be in series. We'll still talk about it. This is the spirituality in general.
Yes.
At another time, we're going to look at the taboo within our belief system. And again, we're going to look at the names of God Almighty in the Gala language. Like I've just spoken about Ochamachala. Somebody will tell you water, chicha, Ochamachala, pure water. Ochamachala means clean. A lot of people don't know the meaning of Ogalagu. Oga means expert. Agu means Agualo.
Yes.
Expert creator. Ogagu. That is Oga means expert.
Yes.
Gu, just as you have in Agualo. Agwebiji. So Ogagu. Expert creator. You know, in fact, we have a perfect belief system. That was the total. And it's a pleasure having you on the program. We hope to have you again on another edition of the program. Viewers, my name is Onechojon. I am your anchor person on the program. And with me on the program today is
Comrade Enemona Abel Elan.
All right. Thank you for being with us, and have a very wonderful and productive day ahead. Thank you very much.